Hello.
Then, now,
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, back to episode number, I think it's 153 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for ECW for the 20th of May 2025. We're slowly but surely making our way towards Heatwave and, what's the other one? Oh, Judgment Day, but mainly Heatwave for ECW specifically. But yes, tonight we have the semi-finals of the Sabu Cup. It's going to be Otis and Brody King. It's going to be Cesaro and Jake something. We also know that Aoi Maikawa was going to have her ECW, I think, return match, maybe? Debut, return? I can't remember if she's been on ECW before. And, yeah. A four-way tag team match determined that among contenders for the tag team championships at Heatwave. Also at the Deadline in your house, we saw an 8-man tag team main event where the Wyatt 7 defeated the Bloodline with Uncle Howdy pinning the ECW champion Jacob Fatu. So yeah, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We start the show off, Jacob Fatu is angry. He's storming around angry backstage. Goes, "Where's Ava? Where's Ava? Where's Ava?" And then he storms into the locker room, or into Ava's office even. Goes, "Ava, you want to talk to me about this? About what happened? About what I heard? A Deadline?" And Ava goes, Good afternoon to you too, Jacob. How can I help you?" He goes, "Jimmy and Jay, why they're leaving ECW, huh? What's that? Have you got anything to do with this?" She goes, "Look, I understand that I promised you I had nothing to do with it. You know, Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, they wanted the Usos on their show. They made a good offer. It's got nothing to do with our history. You know, I put all that Bloodline family stuff behind me. I want to be impartial. But, yeah, Jimmy and Jay, they also wanted a fresh start away from, you know, all the Bloodline stuff here on ECW, the same way that Roman Reigns wanted one. And, yeah, it's official. Jimmy and Jay now on SmackDown." Jay goes, "Whatever. I don't need people watching my back, huh? I'm a lone wolf, all gas, no brakes with it. You know what I mean?" And he leaves the locker room. And then Bo Dallas is there. Not Uncle Howdy. He's in the Bo Dallas gear. It's like normal Bo Dallas clothes. He just smiles at Jacob. And he starts laughing. He goes, "Jacob, for someone who's so tied to family, you sure do feel alone right now. And that's why Uncle Howdy could get the better of you at Deadline. Because you still held that resentment to Jimmy and to Jay for leaving you. But it's okay. You have that championship. And Uncle Howdy, he's the right man to take this brand forward. So at Heatwave, you are going to defend that championship against Uncle Howdy. And finally, a world championship will be given to the Wyatt 7. Earned by the Wyatt 7 to prove our loyalty and our strength. And when I win that championship, I'll do it all for my brother." Jim goes, "Now listen to you. Now you're going to try and make me feel bad by beating your ass at Heatwave. But hey, your big brother, he wouldn't have wanted your first championship win to be a handout. I know that. But you keep your family in the back, and I'll keep my family solo in the back, and we can do this man to man to see who truly is the right leader of this brand, huh? You know what I mean?" And Bo just chuckles, goes, "Yeah, I know what you mean." And he walks away. But then cuts to ringside, you know, to the commentators welcome us to the show, when Tatum Paxley jumps the barricade. She grabs the microphone and goes, "Is this on? Is this on?" She starts like tapping the microphone. She goes, "Oh, but first of all, I know we've got a long show in store for us tonight, but I just can't sit back there any longer and wait. You know, I've got to come out here and I've got to speak my mind. I've got to speak my mind right now, because for all these years I've been here, 3 years on the WWE main roster, I've been seen as somebody's sidekick, as somebody's lackey, and I like that. You know, I came here and I made friendships with Ivy and with Alexa, and then when they stabbed me in the back, I moved on to Rhea, and then when Rhea abandoned me, I was a little bit lost until Rhea came back. But Rhea Ripley betrayed me. Rhea came back from her injury and she had her sights set on success, and she just shoved me to the side, but there's no reason we couldn't have achieved success together. Okay, Rhea tossed me to the side like I was yesterday's news because she wanted to be the hero and step up for herself as much as I tried. And I tried my hardest to keep this thing going because I loved Rhea, my mommy. We could have been champions together. There's no reason Rhea couldn't be ECW Women's Champion with me by her side, maybe even as the $1 Million Champion. Those are dreams I'd have at night, and I'd wake up the next day sad, cold, and alone, because I realized that the reality would never be those dreams. Because mommy, as much as you love her, she don't love you back. She was happy to let you rot and decay on the cold floor backstage in the arena while she got all of her success by herself. She's a snake. She's a witch. And I'm tired of it all. I finally had enough because I saw what I look like from the outside. There are other girls here that are the same as I do, and when I see those girls, I see myself. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want them to be like that. I want to fight for everybody who was told no, told they weren't good enough, everybody who was told that they could not do it. So Rhea, at Heatwave, I promise you, you've made a lot of things in your career that you may regret, but there'll be none you regret more than tossing me aside. Because now, I've hit rock bottom. But you still haven't come to rock bottom yet, have you? But it's fine. I'll drag you here. Rhea's music hits. She comes out. And then she starts shouting at Tatum. Tatum orders her to get into the ring. Security come out to Rhea, cut her off, no, don't get in the ring, leave her alone. And then Rhea grabs a mic of her own. She goes, "You know what, Tatum? Just when I thought that you couldn't get any lower, you come out here and do this. Listen, Tatum, I'm sorry that your little dream friendship didn't work out, okay? I kept you around. You were useful for a long time, and I was happy to come back and restore this friendship after WrestleMania. But you just had to keep on being weird to the point where, quite frankly, nobody sane would have kept you around. But I'm on top. I will be back on top, and I want my championship. And if that means I've got to go through you and all your bitter vengeance, then so be it." $75 rated 4-way. Sure, we'll take that. It says it's elimination. It's not elimination. Kylan Rodgers pins Tonga Loa in 30 minutes and 8 seconds. So yeah, Aussie Open pick up the win. 58 for Tonga Loa, 66 for Tama Tonga, 81 for Dijak, 78 for Baron Corbin, 67 for Drake Chambers, 84 for Nathan Kelly, 82 for Brad Sawyer, 71 for Kylan Rodgers. So yeah, nice. And it will be Aussie Open going on to Heatwave to challenge the Wyatt 7. And obviously, if you haven't worked out yet, they can freebird the belts because Uncle Howdy's wrestling Jacob Fatu on that night. So it will probably be one of Preston Vance or Kip Sabian team with Eric Rowan. But yeah, they will defend against Aussie Open. You know, welcome to ECW, boys. And of course, this is Dijak and Corbin's first match together, so they've got to try and iron out the kinks as of yet. Sheamus. He's backstage and he goes, "Do you know what my favourite thing about you is, Moose? My favourite thing about you is that you are always down for a fight. Whether you're jumping me from behind or not, that's a whole other thing. But when it's time to get down and dirty, you're always ready for a fight. Which is great. 'Cause I love a fight. I love a fight so much. Hell, last year, I saw you doing something that I've always wanted. Banger after banger after banger. You want to be the villain, the Messiah. What I saw last year, you had 7 deadly sins. And I want some of that. If you can go 7 rounds with a guy like Karrion Kross, we'll see how long you can last. It may end up only being 4 sins, because I'm going to beat your ass 4 times and bring salvation to the Church of Moose. But don't worry, fella. It will still be banger after banger after banger. So yeah, Sheamus challenging Moose officially to the 7 Deadly Sin series beginning at Heatwave. We then cut to the women's locker room. And we see Aoi Maikawa in there. She's talking to Mina Shirakawa. Obviously, Mina and her speaking Japanese together, sort of like, you know, welcoming her to the ECW locker room. And that's when Zoe Stark walks in. And she goes, hey, you over there, Mina. I mean, sort of looks at her. She goes, get away from her, okay? Sure, me and Aoi may not have had the best introduction at a Deadline, okay? But she's part of this cause, okay? I'm actually glad that she's on this brand, because she's exactly the sort of woman we need here on ECW. Strong, powerful, here to kick ass and be a fighter, not to dance around and shake her boobs like you are, okay? She is real. You're not. Everything about you is fake. Yes, everything. I mean, it's sort of she's disgusted by the accusation that everything about her is fake. You know, there's something about her that she claims is very real and not fake. You can use your imagination on what she's talking about. So he goes, anyway, right here, you can see names of all these women who agree with me that this place needs fixing. This place needs people like you and Lola Vice to take your shaking ass and shaking chests off of my show. Okay, because that don't fly under my watch. Come, Aoi. We have a match to compete in. And Aoi's like, not yet. I can stay here. It's fine. And so he goes, okay, great. Sure. Just stay away from these people because they're terrible influences for your career, okay? Zoe Stark, me. I want what's best for you. And she walks away. And Aoi and Mina sort of just give each other an awkward look. 79. I'll take that. But yes, Jake Something and Cesaro have their match. And Jake Something does pick up the win. He advances to the final of the Sabu Cup, defeating Cesaro in somewhat of an upset. You know, obviously Cesaro, one of the favourites to win the whole thing, you'd expect. 75 for Cesaro, 70 for Jake Something. So he will face the winner of Otis versus Brody King next week, with the winner of that going on to Heatwave in the double championship match. We then cut to Next Gen in their locker room. Kathy calls in her ring gear, you know, getting ready. Everybody else is just in normal clothes. And Florence walks in. She goes, wow, they're definitely a Next Gen locker room here. And Kathy goes, hey, you're here for the strategy? She goes, yeah, but I'm not really sure there's too much to go over. You know, Ruby, I've beaten her a lot. You know, Naomi, you've beaten her countless times. So, what I was just thinking was, you know, we can go out there, we can be the most colourful, beautiful, fastest rising women's tag team you've ever seen. 2 strong independent champions doing our thing. Put those 2 bitches down, and then a heat wave, do the same thing. Kathy just sort of shrugs and goes, yeah, sounds right to me, see you out there. They shake hands, Florence leaves. But yeah, our main event will be champions versus challengers. Kathy Cool and Florence against Ruby Riott and Naomi. We then cut to Kelly Kincaid, and her guest is Pistolero. She says, Pistolero, at Deadline, we saw a big major change that affected your career here on ECW, because you see, last week you and Rey Mysterio challenged for the ECW Tag Team Champions. You came up short on that night, but now we learned that Rey Mysterio was going over to Monday Night Raw, leaving you behind here on ECW. So what are your thoughts on Rey, leaving you here by yourself? Pistolero goes, I respect the hell out of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, idol of mine. And I appreciate him challenging me. He said after last week that he thought I was ready. And well, if Rey Mysterio thinks I'm ready, then I'm ready, because you must have forgot who the hell I am. I'm a former United States champion. I've been a single success. I don't need Rey to be successful over here. I wish Rey the best of luck in what he's going to do over on Raw. But for ECW, it's my time to step back up. It's my time to chase championship glory. It's my time to maybe go on to become hardcore champion. And then Kevin Owens walks into frame and goes, there he is. Pistolero, the bandit. For a bandit, you're sort of very forgiving. Okay, because if Rey Mysterio had stabbed me in the back the way he stabbed you in the back at Deadline, then I'd be after his ass, okay? Like, I tried to tell the truth about Rey Mysterio months ago. And nobody wanted to hear it because, it's Rey Mysterio, he's a great guy. Okay, but Dirty Dom, he saw it. Christian, he sees it. But you don't seem to see it. I see it. You're the same person because Rey Mysterio is your idol, and he's just walked out on you and left you here to rot, while he goes to sort out family drama over Monday Night Raw. Let me just tell you this one thing, buddy. Rey Mysterio may be right about one thing. You may be pretty good out there, and you may be a former United States champion, but then you're wrong about one other thing, because you want to try and come and be hardcore champion. That's not going to matter, because I'm going to be the hardcore champion. This whole tournament, Sabu Cup, God rest his soul, pointless, because whoever wins it is just going to lose to me at Heatwave. And then when I'm the champion, if guys like you want a shot at the championship, that's fine. I'll give you the shot. But I don't plan on losing it, buddy. Okay? So, tag team gold. That was your best shot at success here on ECW. Maybe you can fluke a win over Jacob. I know you beat a Samoan for your first championship, right? But to leave you going after me when I'm pissed off and ready to kill people for the way I've been disrespected around here recently, it's not a good sign, buddy. You might want to watch your back. But yet again, we know you can't do that because you let Rey Mysterio stab you in it. So just pats him on the shoulder and leaves. And you can tell Pistolero was annoyed because, Rey Mysterio trusted him. He didn't betray him. That's Rey Mysterio. He'd never do that. 84, Aoi Maikawa is very good. Shocker, it's Miyu Yamashita, I know, but yes. She does defeat Zoe Stark with the Crash Rabbit Heat in 11 minutes and 44. 91 for Aoi, 64 for Zoe. So yeah, nice win for Aoi Maikawa. Zoe Stark does come up short, but her success is less so in-ring, and her success is more so on this piece of paper she wants people to sign to kick the sexy out of ECW, basically, for lack of a better term. And then as Zoe's in the ring, getting to her feet, she's getting annoyed with the lights dimmed down, and we get an impromptu Club Venus dance break. A dance intermission with Club Venus with special guest dancer Lola Vice. Lola Vice comes out and she's dancing with them. She's shaking her hips, Mina's shaking her top. And Zoe Stark just walks past in disgust and just slaps Lola in the face, which doesn't end well because obviously Lola is an MMA fighter. She grabs Zoe Stark, tosses her to the floor, and Zoe has to eventually flee backstage again. But yeah, Lola, tough, sexy, but also an ass kicker. A glamazon, you could call her. We then cut to the Nightlight locker room, and Shantae and Ruby Riott are sort of just in there. Shantae's looking very skeptical as Ruby goes over her plan. She goes, okay, you can come out there if you need it, okay, because those next gen girls are not going to be far behind. And Shantae goes, right, well, where's Naomi? And then Naomi comes in. She goes, hey Ruby, what you doing in here? She goes, It's about the match tonight, Naomi. She goes, all right. Yeah, I did invite you in here. Okay, I don't know if you've seen, but I've sort of been more aggressive recently right here. I'm tired of being walked all over. And that includes by you. And Ruby Sparks goes, I know, I'm so proud of you. I wanted this my entire time, you know. I was trying to, I'll admit it, drive a wedge between the two of you. And Shantae's like, sort of disgusted. She goes, but I didn't need to because you prove you don't need that. You can keep a friendship around and up your game. And I believe you're going to up your game when you win the $1 million championship at Heatwave. And maybe she will join you. And Shantae sort of shakes head, goes, yeah, right, sure. And Ruby goes, anyway, you're not teaming with her tonight, you're teaming with me tonight, okay? I understand this side of you more than Shantae does. So, I trust you out there. I believe this Naomi can get the job done. Kathy Cool has beat you twice, 3 times now. She's never beaten this Naomi. And quite frankly, I want to sit back and watch. See how you can do. Don't worry about Florence. I'll take care of her. It's our time now. Naomi goes, I don't know why you're talking like that. I don't trust you. Just stay out of my way. And I'll tell you the same thing I tell Kathy and I tell everybody else. I ain't got a problem with you. So long as you proceed with caution. She walks out and Ruby follows her out. And Shantae, you know, we pound on her. She just sort of like throws her arms up in the air like, okay, what the fuck? Sure. 77 for this brawl. Otis and Brody King, 2 big meaty men, have a meat-slapping meat fest. And Otis picks up the win. I imagine Otis, I don't know if he's going to run the blade specifically, because I don't want to blow away running the blade too much, but this is where you sort of see Otis as, you know, he can get down and dirty, like he said last week. You know, he's being really rough and he's having a fight, his hair's a mess. And in the end, he does defeat Brody King with the World's Strongest Slam. 75 for Brody, 68 for Otis. So yeah, our finals of the Sabu Cup next week. Jake Something will face Otis in that match. Then see Kelly Kincaid with Joe Hendry. Kelly goes, Joe, over the past few weeks, you and Austin Theory have been butting heads here on ECW, and I understand you had something you wanted to announce here tonight. I did. You see, Kelly. These people shouldn't have the same names, and, you know, the first name of this interviewer being the surname of the other interviewer. You know, it's very confusing. But anyway, you know what, Kelly? I do have something big planned. It's something you're not going to want to miss. It's something the people aren't going to want to miss. Because ECW, this whole place may have changed what it's about, but I haven't. Next week, I've written a little special song for Austin Theory. And I can't wait for him to hear it. Tune into ECW next week, where Joe Hendry performs his hit new song, all about Austin Theory. Next week, we have a couple of matches set for next week on the show, including the aforementioned, I guess, technical final? I'll call it the final, but technically the final is Kevin Owens versus the winner at Heatwave. But the final of the Hardcore Championship Sabu Cup tournament, Jake Something will face off with Otis in that match. You know, 2 underdogs. I'm not sure if people really expected these 2 to be the finalists, but here we are. One of them will go to Heatwave to challenge Kevin Owens for the Hardcore Championship. Plus, following an altercation on the stage with Club Venus and Zoe Stark earlier on tonight, it will be the group's leader, Maina Shirakawa, taking on Zoe Stark in singles action next week on ECW. Plus, Joe Hendry will be back in the house, and he's written a special little song about his current enemy, Austin Theory. Plus, moving on to Heatwave, which is a week from Saturday, we now have 3 new matches set for that show, the first being following his victory over Jacob at Deadline. Uncle Howdy will challenge for the ECW Championship. He will face Jacob Fatu for the championship. Will he prove that the Wyatt's found family is stronger than Jacob's, what remains, I guess, of his blood? Then we'll find out at Heatwave Plus. Speaking of the Wyatt 7 in championship action, there will be 2 members of the Wyatt 7, most likely Eric Rowan and Kip Sabian, defending the tag team championships against Aussie Open. Aussie Open, you know, in that 4-wheeler one tonight after coming over from SmackDown, looking to make a name for themselves, a fresh start here on ECW. Can they win those championships? Plus, it will be the beginning of a new 7 Deadly Sins series as the Moosiah Moose faces off against Sheamus in a one-on-one singles match to kick off the series at Deadline. Not Deadline, Heatwave. I knew I was going to end up calling it Deadline at some point. AEA Raid main event. We take those. Yeah, the heel team win. The challengers defeat the champions. Naomi scores the pin over Kathy Cole. I think for the first time ever. I don't think she's pinned her before. Maybe I did that in the build-up to WrestleMania. I don't think I did. But, yeah, Naomi, the new Naomi, has now officially pinned every single member of Next Gen. Well, I guess technically apart from whoever didn't eat the pin in the tag team match with Nightlight, but whatever. 70 for Kathy, 87 for Florence, 93 for Ruby, 84 for Naomi. And yes, Naomi and Ruby Riott stand tall to end the show. We get the celebration, you know. They hold up their respective championships and, you know, pose with the championships. And her and Ruby just sort of having a grand old time together. And Shantae does come out. She raises Naomi's arm and she celebrates with Naomi. She's sort of side-eyeing Ruby the whole time. And Naomi's like running around with the belt, like really happy with it. Like going, yeah, bitch, that's what you get. Proceed with caution, Kathy, you fucking bitch. All that shit. And Shantae the whole time is sort of just very, very mindful of Ruby. And Ruby sort of just laughs, watches Naomi do her thing as the show goes off the air. AEW Raid show. Sure. The road to Heatwave is basically all finished at this point, which is why, you know, I'm sort of waiting to wrap things up at that pay-per-view. But yes, so I'm asking you for the show. Do let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time for SmackDown, the go-home show before SmackDown's first pay-per-view Judgment Day this Saturday. See you then.